Hey everybody, welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Before we get too far along, I want everybody to guess down in the comment section below what you think this car is actually going to put down horsepower-wise to the wheel. I'm not really looking at torque numbers very much today. It'll be interesting to know those numbers, but we're really interested in seeing what the horsepower is. Stock on this car is 190 horsepower. If you take 15% through the drivetrain loss, that puts you around 161.5. Now David is thinking that it's going to dyno around 160. That is his guess. That is basically saying that everything that we did brought the car back up to where it should be if it was stock with really low miles. I am a little bit more optimistic. I think between the power steering delete, the AC removal, so basically freeing up some parasitic loss, removing some emissions, and getting the tune on the car, including our intake here, which we will see if it adds any power. Between all this here, I would like to see closer to 170. That is 10 horsepower more. Supposedly the tune itself is worth 10 horsepower, so I'm really hoping to see 170 to the wheel. And then obviously anything else over 170 would just be icing on the cake. So we're gonna go and take the car over to the dyno and get that done. Unfortunately today I can't really do a lot of recording at the dyno. I'm gonna set up a couple cameras statically and just get it done. I was able to slip into a cancel slot this morning. So the dyno shop is pretty busy today. The car's before and after me, so I've kind of just got to go in, dyno it, and then we will come back here and talk about our result numbers. So I'm really excited about all this. I'm going to pack everything up and we'll see exactly what this car can put to the wheels.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't want to waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't want to waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands.
Well, here we are back in the garage and I have the dyno results here. Again, last chance, go and comment, guess what you think the horsepower is going to be. Now this whole dyno operation did go without a hitch. Unfortunately, when I got there, as I parked the car to go inside and let the owner know I was there so that we could get the car in, I went and turned off the electric fan and the fan switch just went completely limp. 35 amp switch and it just wasn't enough, and when I went to go shut it off, it had apparently overheated and it melted the switch. So it was in the off position, broken in the off position. So we had to use a pair of vice grips to squeeze them together. That was my fault. If you're gonna be doing a switch like that, you really should get like a 50 amp, and I was running a 35. So I'm just glad that it died here in town versus while we were, several hundred miles away doing our road trip. So here we go. The final dyno numbers for the car. The car dynoed 180 horsepower at 5,150 RPMs, and then it dynoed 222 pound-feet of torque at 1,950 RPMs. Those are really impressive numbers for a car like this, where it's got 180,000 miles and where it started originally at 192 with the crank. So that means between the tune and our parasitic loss that we've removed and a couple other things on the car, we gained anywhere between 17 to 20 horsepower to the wheels. So crank numbers is 207 horsepower, and then the engine torque would be around 244 pound-feet. This wasn't too surprising. I knew that we would at least do 170. I really knew that 170 was just a really good solid guess for me. David, like I said earlier, he was just saying that he's hoping that it dynoed what it should have dynoed when it was new, and for it to have dynoed 20 horsepower more than he wanted and 10 horsepower more than I wanted was fantastic. And like I said, we also didn't guess the torque numbers, but 222 pound-feet of torque is a lot. That's a great number. Just as a reference, my race car, before I supercharged it, dynoed 192 at the wheel and 222 pound-feet of torque. That means that if you were to race this car and mine side by side without a supercharger, so just the engines, so it has an 8 horsepower advantage and a 20 foot-pounds of torque advantage when it comes to power to weight over my white car. So that's awesome. That's exactly what we wanted to see, more than either David and I hoped. We'll see if any of you were as close to that number as we were. Again, very, very happy and excited about this. There is lots more to come on the 36, more to come on the 46. There's lots of other oil testing projects coming up, so stay tuned for all of that. Thanks everybody for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's content. Subscribe if you are new. Check out my Patreon link in the description below. My Patreon members get to enjoy early ad-free access of our content. We record several weeks, if not several months out sometimes, and Patreon members get to see that content a lot sooner than everybody else. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see everybody in the next video.